Hey guys, welcome back to AFK Journey. In today's video, we have Lucca finally dropping in the game. It was later than I thought, but he is an A level as expected, and he is a tank, physical damage, range of 1, light bearer. I haven't checked out his skills, so let's jump in and take a look. Now, the first thing that I noticed straight off the bat is his starting energy is 600, so he's going to get his first ult off pretty fast. So let's go through it. When targeting an adjacent enemy, Lucca knocks them into the air and then slams them down in place. When targeting an enemy located closer to his allied backline, Lucca will rush at them and slam them back to his original tile. Okay, that's interesting. Could we do some shenanigans with his positioning? The slam deals 200% damage, scaling up to the target and their adjacent enemies, stunning them for 2 seconds. Lucca is immune to control effects while casting this skill, and if auto cast is enabled, he'll prioritize targets that are closer to his allied backline. Okay, so, and it says to his, when targeting an enemy located closer to his allied backline, Lucca will rush them and slam them back to his original tile. I'm assuming that's Lucca's original tile. Like I said, I don't know if there's some shenanigans that we can play with that, but it's good. It's getting them away from your backline. Not too bad. And on auto, it's always going to protect your backline if there is a backline to be protected. That's pretty cool. And then we just get some increasing damage. Okay, that's his ult. Honestly, it's nothing insane, but I'm trying to think of what it counters. You know, the sniping tactics, but we gotta wait and see. We gotta go through the rest to find out where this guy's meant to be used in the first place. Next up, we've got an 8-second cooldown with an initial cooldown of 3 seconds. Lucca gains a shield that absorbs damage equal to 340% of his physical defense plus 340% of his magic defense for 8 seconds. He then shoulders hip and shoulder. Anyone who's seen Australian football, that's what I'm thinking about. He then shoulders into an enemy, dealing damage, interrupting them, and disarming them for 4 seconds. Why can't I click disarm? Okay, guys, is this the first disarm effect in the game? And what does it do? Because everything else interrupts. It tells us what it does. Does disarming mean like they can't attack, or maybe they just can't basic attack? I don't think I've seen disarm in the game, unless I'm just being absolutely just screwed up in the mind at the moment. I'm not too sure. But basically, he's going to get a shield, and then he hits an enemy, interrupting them and disarming them. I got to double check what disarming is. Next up, 12-second cooldown, 6-second initial cooldown. Lucca unleashes a fierce roar, removing all dispellable debuffs from himself and reducing his damage taken by 25% for the next 5 seconds. This skill can be cast while Lucca is under dispellable control effects. So it's a self-cleanse. Okay, self-cleanse with damage reduction. Okay. Like, I'm assuming he's just going to be a tanky tank is what we're looking at. Next up, he increases his max HP with the hero focus. Okay. Is there some sort of team support with this next one? Okay, so his exclusive equipment. Lucca maintains a solid fighting stance, remaining steadfast during the battle. For each allied placed in an adjacent tile behind him, does that mean it applies to the 3 sort of adjacent rear ones? You know, I mean, not just the one directly, but the adjacent 2 as well, so you can get up to 3. I'm not too sure. When the battle starts, he gains a shield equal to 220% of the allies' attack. Allies supporting Lucca also receive a 5% boost to their attack. Increases shield value. If at least 2 allies are placed to support Lucca, expands Ruthless Ram's area of effect to a 1-tile arc. Ruthless Ram, which is this one, he shoulders an enemy. Okay, so that becomes an AoE interrupt and disarm. Once again, I got to find out exactly what disarm is. And then it goes up again, and his Supreme Plus, Lucca recovers 15% HP when casting a Courageous Call. What was the cooldown on this? On a 12-second cooldown. Okay, I'm honestly not too sure on this one. It just feels like he's going to be a very tanky tank. And that's pretty much it. You know, supporters get a 5% boost to attack. Whether he becomes like the new standard in tanky tanking, I don't know. And it's also like, how good is this disarm effect going to be? Because on an 8-second cooldown, 4-second disarm, and that becomes a 1-tile. Like, so if you've got enemies grouped up, and basically you're hitting like 4 of them with this disarm every 4 seconds, every 8 seconds for a 4-second duration, you got a 50% uptime on it. Like maybe, but essentially I'm looking at him as just being a very tanky tank. I think to things like Antandra. The difference is Antandra has a taunt, which is super helpful in certain situations. This guy doesn't have a taunt. But I think that if I had to compare this base kit to another character, it would be Antandra. Just being like, you know, it's all about mitigating damage for yourself and supporting yourself essentially to not die. Now, he does have the added benefit where he can get enemies off of your back row. Yes, but I don't know how consistent that's going to be a massive thing for him. Does have that good starting energy, so he will get that off quick. Once again, got a big shield for himself. He's got a self-cleanse and damage reduction. So with his shields and self-damage reduction, plus the extra HP he gets here, plus an ability to actually recover some of his own HP, not too bad, plus an additional shield there. So when we look at it, we got a stun support for back row. We've got a shield and an interrupt with disarm. Once again, with disarm, that's that one. Then we got damage reduction and self-cleanse. And then we've got another shield and a little buff for allies. I don't know. I think he's going to be super tanky. I think he's going to be a great wall to put at the front of a team. At the moment, I'm thinking 0 usage in bossing. He just has no buffing capabilities. He doesn't look to have much damage. Like, you know, like if you're looking at bossing and you have to bring a tank, like Thorin's still going to excel because, you know, Croaky would get the extra lives. Then we go into, you know, the damage amplification as well. This guy's just only got a tiny bit of support. So Arena, maybe some usage in Arena for getting rid of those pesky back row snipes. But I mean, maybe it's just a tanky tank, but I don't quite see it in Arena. And then the remaining place is AFK stages, and I think that's going to be his main place to shine, is going to be in the AFK stages. Whether I think that warrants getting him, like summoning him if you're like a free to play at this stage, I don't think so. Once again, I might wait till he comes out on global, or I might pull a copy of him on my test server. I'm not too desperate to do it, but I might do that just to have a little play with him and see his mechanics. But at this stage, I'm not like, wow, this kit looks awesome. Like, I'm super excited. I'm just like, okay, he's a tanky tank and he can tank, is where I'm at. I could be completely wrong. I've been wrong before, but you guys let me know what you think of Lucca. That is his kit so far. A bunch of shielding, self mitigation, a little bit of control on the enemies, and that's what we're looking at. Let me know your thoughts. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.